All right. So if this is the left, this is the right. Then when price was coming here, this was our area of importance here, right? This was our area of importance, even though prices did not really get there. But this was our area of importance. This is where we were looking for price to do what? To reverse. Ne? To reverse from here. So now, when price passes this, our next area of importance will be here. Because our area of importance is where you see price coming up and it accumulates and then it splashes down. So you can see on all these areas of importance here, what happens when price gets there. So this is the left hand side. Still on the left hand side. See. And then we have a small one there. So I can just put them like this. And the look is for you to see. So it's like this.
Okay.
So it's like this. So when this price was pushing up, we were expecting that price will give us a reversal in one of these price actions. But then since we know that this price here now is on an uptrend. It's on an uptrend, and the 90% of this structure is up here. So obviously this is our main inflation point. We're waiting for price to get here, of which it did. And when it got here, if I just remove this.
No, you must have heard it wrong. My friend Roy would never say such a thing about me.
This.
Well, let's be careful because that's not all he said. He told me I was eating off of people's plates because you're so stingy.
So when price got here, to our area of importance now, this is where you ask yourself, how did price get there and stuff like that, right? You ask yourself, how did price get there? So you can see how price got there. And what you can see here is that this price has formed there at our area of interest, a head and shoulder formation, right? It has formed a head and shoulder formation. And we know that on a head and shoulder formation, the price, when it breaks out of a head and shoulder formation, it will always be equal to the head to the shoulder. It will be equal to the head to the neckline. So this is the neckline. So we're expecting that when this price breaks out of this area, it will come somewhere here, right? So if I can just play it a bit.
Roy, you coward! You think you can win if you talk behind my back all the time, huh?
There we
Friends
go.
or no friends, I don't need you.
Stop.
I'm gonna finish you off in the
Here.
back.
Wow.
Then from there, anything can happen. Okay.
Okay.
Just do this.
Good afternoon, Roy. So you'll be playing against me in the semifinal.
So now you understand when price gets to your area of importance, especially on the weekly, this is where you're expecting price to do something. You understand? So just like, let's say, for example, here, right here, if you look on the left hand side here, if we look here, when price approached this area, right, this was an area of interest. And then when price was approaching, how was price getting there? That is the question. So if you can see that our price was getting there, if I can just do this.
Quite complicated. Is that true? Why don't you tell us something about it?
I have no idea what that idiot said, but this is all nonsense. Gino was into her account. Stupid. Gino is selfish, only thinking about his
So
son.
before price
He never else on the team.
passed our structure here, before price broke out of our structure here,
Could you tell us how you feel about the semifinals?
you could see how price was approaching our area there.
Say some awful things just so you can look good.
Our structure here.
I will crush you, I swear.
So what we can see here is that, okay, this was our area of interest. Ne? So as this was our area of interest, we're expecting that price, now how is price approaching? So price is approaching structural. 1, 2, 3. So here on the third touch here, this is where we're expecting price to sell off to this area, right? This is where we're expecting price to sell off to this area. But instead, price did not sell off. So you just wait. We just wait. So what we got is that price, this is the third touch. We have 1, 2, 3. So what you can see here on the third touch, you can see that here on the third touch, price did push down, but it did not push all the way like we're expecting it to come to to this area. So it passed this
You started all this now
area
a
of
minute
importance to
ago.
go to the upside. So what do we do there? Then this one we leave it, we remove it. Because now this price has passed this area. And then now we go and look for another area. Right? We go and look for another area, which is just here on top of this area. Right? Which is just here on top of this area. So now that is where we want to see how did price get there and what is price doing when it gets there. So if I go to play this,
I'm so disappointed, guys. If you insist on not waking up, I won't see either of you.
can this play faster? So price went there, it did that, it gave us a head and shoulder formation, and then obviously it went down. So we can see that price got to this area of inflation, and this is where price reacted. So if we go to the smaller time frame on this, if we go to the daily, we're going to do the same thing here on the daily. Now, since we understand that we have passed this area or zone here before, the one here, we have passed it. Now, we are here. We are here in this area. We are here in this second zone. We are in this second zone. This is the daily. We ask ourselves the same question again. How did price get there? Right? So this is our zone. How is price approaching? You can see this is the impulse, and then this move here is a correction.
Don't forget about a bonus.
So this was all just a setup then?
I decided to forfeit the match.
What was that?
I would rather forfeit the match than lose a good friend like Gino.
So this is the correction. This is how price was approaching our area there. And then here, I can remove the top. You can just remove this top. And then here I have, this is my last area high. So if this is my last high now, I have price which has a 1, 2. Let me just put it nicely. Now I have price which has a 1, 2, 3 formation. 1, 2, 3 formation, of which now I can see that, okay, we impulsed out and then we went out of the structure and then we came back. So now I put this here. I'll be waiting for price to come down here. And then from here, it must give me a head and shoulder according to what has happened here on the left-hand side. You understand? So now what you'll be waiting, if you find price like this, now you'll wait for price to break these highs, your previous highs, to come back here and fail to go up again. It must fail to go up again. So if it does go up, then you must be anticipating something like a double top. If it goes up, you must anticipate a double top. But then like this, you'll be expecting that this move will come and give you something like this. Take these lows and then come and give you a head and shoulder formation. So what you need to understand is how did price get there? So we can see this is our area zone, this is our area of interest. And then here we have the 1, the 2, the 3. And then on this 1, 2, 3, this is the 90. This is the 90. And then price has pushed, we have the impulse, and then we have the correction that is happening. So we already have price coming back up, coming back down, giving us this correction to say that it's going to continue to the downside. So if we go to the lower time frames, that's when we're going to find those nice entries. See.
Okay.
Out. Pause. Let me pause this. I've paused it. So now, what do you see? You see what happened? Price did exactly. It went up, it came down here. And then from here, it went up. It did what? It gave us what? A double top. It gave us a double top. And then from this double top, this is the 90%. This is the 90% of this structure. From this double top, what happened? Price impulsed out and gave us this beautiful move. Right? It gave us this beautiful move. So now we have this this price like this here. So now we have price like this. So if you're expecting that, okay, this will be our left shoulder and this will be our right shoulder, because now we have broken out of these areas now, and then now we can use the neckline as somewhere here. So depending on how price plays out, so whenever you just have to be there anticipating how the price is going to play out. Let's just see how this one plays out. Okay, there's the left shoulder, there's the right shoulder, boom, everything is done. It played out just like that. So you see, from here now, it means that from this one move, you have a lot of entries, because you have the head and shoulder here. You have a head and shoulder. You have a head and shoulder formation here. The big head and shoulder here.
Yes.
There's a big head and shoulder formation here. I can't draw nicely here, so let's use this.
Yeah, I can see.
And then also there's another one here. Just that they're ugly, but there's another one here. There's another head and shoulder here. Yeah.
Okay.
There's another one here. So the market gave you all these opportunities. The first one was this double top, and when you get in, you wait. You don't just go there because it's a double top and you jump in. First things first, especially if it's a double top like this, you have to understand also the same thing. How did price get there? How did price get there? So if you check here, this was the first high, right? Then this was the first high. So what did I say? What did I say? When price goes up, you trade against what? You trade against your left-hand side. So this one is going up, so our left-hand side is here. So as you can see, as it is going up, right? I mean this wave here. As it's going up, this is our first area of inflation here. So you can see price pushed, and then when it got here, we get a red candle, right? So it passed again, and then this was our next area of inflation here. This was our next area of inflation. So the same thing, you want to check how did price get to your area of inflation. So what we can see here is that now price, when it gets to our area of inflation, is getting there in the form of, again, the same thing, over and over again. The 1, 2, 3. Same thing. I can just put this here. It's the same thing, that impulse, and then now we are no longer continuing, because if price wants to continue, after an impulse, if price wants to continue after an impulse, if price wants to continue after an impulse, then it will give us this continuation to go up, not that it will impulse up and then start correcting like this. There is no progress. So that's why now when this price came to this double top here, it managed to give us this impulse again to go to the downside. It's because there is no progress. Okay, so you have to understand how did price get there. That is where you find your entries. You don't just find your entries by doing light analysis. You have to understand why are you doing your analysis. And one thing that I've seen is that you have to combine your analysis from daily to from your 1 week until your entry point. Your analysis must be speaking to each other. So I saw that when you were sending me analysis, your 1 week is telling me one thing, your daily, everything it's way different. So everything must be telling you one thing. So you cannot have analysis on the 4 hour and the 1 hour and the daily, and you say that is analysis, because analysis comes from the bigger time frame, and then on the smaller time frames you'll just be adding what already is there on the bigger time frame. So you cannot have different analysis. You cannot have different analysis from different from different time frames. So if you know that this is what you are waiting for, even on the 1 hour, even if you go to the 1 hour, you're still gonna get the same the same thing. Let me just do this. So the same thing here on the day on USD JPY. And another thing that you must understand is that if you find a pair and you find that you don't understand what is happening, or there is no structure, you don't have to force yourself to try and analyze something that you don't see. Because if it is not there, it's not there. If it's there, you'll see it. But if it's not there, it is not there. You will not be able to see it. That's why you'll be making some mistakes. So here on this USD JPY, what we can see again is that you see we have this as our low, and then if we check, this is our high. It
I
is
must
on my.
find another penny.
No, I'm saying that if the pair that you are trying to work on does not make sense to you, you must find another pair and
Oh,
use that
okay.
one, because it's not all the pairs that have structure or that will have structure for that particular week. That is why you must go through all the pairs every week. So
Okay.
now when we look at this, this is my left hand side, this is my left hand side, and this is my right hand side. So I'm trading what? I'm trading my right hand side versus my left hand side. So I'm trading this side versus this side. So it means that I will be looking for positions on this side from this side. So I will be using these areas here of these zones here for this side. So it means that, for example, if we check here, we have price going down, it went up. Okay, did it break here? Did
Down.
not break the lows. There we go. Okay,
Down.
so now we have this. So it means that for example, now our area, we have this area here as an area of interest. There's another area of interest that we can look at. So what you're basically looking at it for areas of interest, see, this is another area of interest. So when this price got to this area, it flushed. And it now, what did it do? It gave us this. We got this.
Get it together.
We got this inverse head and shoulder formation here.
So,
When am I doing? Left shoulder. Yeah. It won't work, can't. But I can see it here. You can clearly see it. There's an inverse head and shoulder formation here that formed. This is the neckline here. This is the inverse head and shoulder formation that I'm talking about.
yeah, I can see.
So there's an inverse head and shoulder formation here that played out here. And then now what we understand about inverse head and shoulders is that from here, from the neckline until the head, we must get, when we break out of the neckline, we must get the same thing. So it means that this price will push until here, 174 by the end of this year. It will push until here. So now what you have to understand now is, okay, sharp, so that we have that, we have this price, we have impulse, correction, impulse. So obviously this impulse will push to here, and then we'll get a big correction before a continuation. So this will be a very big correction. It will be a correction more or less the same as this one. Okay, more or less the same as this one. This is a correction, and it takes time. It's not something that will happen overnight. It takes time. You can see that, like, for example, this correction started in June 15. It ended June 2015. It ended in June. It ended in April 2021. So it will take time. So even for price to get here, it will take time. So now here on this area of inflation here, on this area of inflation here, what we have now is that price. We want to go and see how did price get here, because now we know that we have two areas of inflation. We have this area here, and then we have the top area. So what we only need to know is how did price get here to this zone. So if I go to the smaller time frame, which is the daily, we can see how price, it was impulse correction, is still continuing with its move. Because as we can see, when price was coming here, it's impulse, correction, and it looks like it might continue with that move. So it means that now here, when you come to the daily, you're just going to come and find your nice structure. You're going to find a structure on the daily. So now we have this as a structure. Okay. If I can just expand this or evolve this. Okay. So now we have this impulse correction. Now we are at this areas here. This is what price is doing. So this is what we have on the daily. So what we have now here is that you have the one here, right? You have your touch there. You have your touch there. We are waiting for the touch there to go to the downside. So it's simple. So now we have 1, 2, then we went down. We're waiting for the third touch there. As you can see, we have this price doing this, giving us that, and then now we are waiting for it to go to the upside to see what will happen. So there are also two things here. Now what you have to do now, you just go to your 4-hour time frame, because now you know what you're waiting for.
Mnikeze, uyakwazi nje. Mnikeze.
So I can remove this. So now that you know what you're looking for, there are two things involved. So what you can see is that this structure here is very wide and big. Ne? This structure here is very wide from here to here to here. So it is most likely that when you see a structure which is very wide like this, price will not get to this area here. Ne? Price will not get to this area here, but instead we'll have an override here in the form of a double top formation. Ne? We'll have an override here. So already I can see that this price can come and give me something like this. Almost the same thing. Price always does the same thing. So it can come and give me something like this, which will give me a head and shoulder and then go down. This on this
will not go up, ne?
No, it cannot go up to here. This will be an override because this structure will not make sense. If price is to push, we cannot rule anything out. If price is to push Vele to the third touch there, then this will just be a very big expanding, because this is an expanding channel. So this will be just a very big expanding channel if price does that, right? But usually from experience, when price does this and have this big expanding like this, the expander does not go all the way to the top. It finishes up on the override, which will be the double top. So it means that we'll be waiting for price to come to the double top. And now, when you go to your 1 hour time frame, now, you can see we have a double top there. We have this double top right there. Now, it's the same thing. You want to ask yourself, how is price getting there? You understand? It's the same question. How is price getting there to your double top? How is price getting there? So you can see impulse correction, and then from there, price just started going there, like correctively, like so, right? So price is just going there to your double top correctively. So now, if it's correctively, what is your gameplay? What do you wait for? So we just wait for price to come to you. So you can just do this. So just wait for price to come to you. So already you can see what's happening here. Let me just do this. We can see what's happening here. We have 1, 2. We have a third touch here. So now what can happen here is that this price can give us a double top here. Or what I would ideally want to see is for this price to continue going up here like this before it falls. No? I want to see it to continue going up like this before it falls. So we want to see something like this when it gets to this area. Because now as it is like this, there is no signal to say why should you sell this market. But then if at the end, because now we have the 1, the 2, the 3. But then now as much as we have the 1, the 2, the 3, here at the end, what is happening here at the end? That is what matters. What is happening here at the end? So we need to see what is happening there at the end, here at the end, right? We need to see what is happening here at the end. That is where we'll find. That is where we'll find our entry.
Oh, okay. So like ascending it, don't break it down outside like every time.
Yeah.
Like it's not like, oh, okay.
Ascending, it's that is if it is a correction and you have drawn it correctly. Because sometimes people, they draw things that don't exist and they say it's ascending or descending. So if you draw something that does not exist, then obviously it will break to any side. But if it is the correct way and is the correct one, then it will break to the downside. It always breaks to the downside, and the descending, it breaks to the upper side. Because remember, when you get an ascending or a descending, usually it comes from it comes from an impulse. So if you're getting a descending or an ascending, it comes from an impulse, and then you get, if you have an impulse like this, you'll have an ascending channel, something like, if we can just put it nicely. You have something like it's coming down. We do this. We throw it from the bottom like this. Then maybe here we get something like this. Maybe it comes down here. Then from there we get another high like this. Then maybe it comes down. And then from there we get another high like this. Then it can come down. Then we can have something like this.
Okay.
So we can have something like this. Okay. So you can have price like this. So this is why the ascending always breaks to the downside. It's because it's like this, ne? It's because it's like this. And it's not a matter of, there's another thing that you must also check. When you get your 1, 2, 3 pattern, it's not a matter of just throwing your 1, 2, 3. It must have a nice middle section. I always say this. It must have a nice middle section where you can see it. This middle section will be telling it must have,
it's a correction, ne? Yeah. When you have a middle section, it's a correction.
Yeah, the middle section is the correction. The middle section
so
is the correction.
So if there's no middle section, it's just an uptrend. Ne?
If there's no middle section, it means that it's either did not draw it correctly or something.
Okay.
Because if you are going to get, when we talk about a 1, 2, 3, it's not a matter of just saying 1, 2, 3. You understand? When we talk about a 1, 2, 3, we're actually talking about the price movement. We're talking about 1, 2, 3. You understand?
Okay.
That is the price movement. That is how price moves. So we are talking about impulse, correction, impulse. If in this manner we're talking about impulse, correction, impulse. So this is the 1, 2, 3. So let me just try and show you something. We have this as an impulse. If we have this as an impulse, then the correction to the opposite direction of the trend, and then we have an impulse.
Okay.
So usually this will be a complete wave. This is what we call a complete wave. It will be a 1, 2, 3. And when you find it, what am I doing here? Go deeper like that. Then let me go there. Go deeper.
Let's go.
Okay.
So calm.
Okay.
Hello.
All right. So this is what we'll be talking about. We have, let me just get this. Yeah. So when we get this 1, 2, 3s, usually you must understand that this is what we'll be talking about. We'll be talking about this impulse correction impulse. This will be that 1, 2, 3 that we're talking about. So on the second touch, we'll have a middle section. On the second touch, we'll have a middle section like this. So you have this impulse correction impulse like that. So this is what we mean by 1, 2, 3 structure. It's not a matter of just finding 1, 2, 3s inside there that don't exist. So your 1, 2, 3s must have those structures. Okay. So some of the things that you must check with your 1, 2, 3 is that when you're drawing your 1, 2, 3, this high, there's something that you must check here. This high here, this high, this high,
Okay.
the first high, you don't know it yet when the market has started. And then now the second high, for us to connect this high and this high, right? For us to connect this high and this high is when this high is formed and then it pushes down but fails. It does not break. It does not break below this low. So it fails to break this and it continues up. So this is a higher high. Already we can see this is a higher high. Now it has been confirmed that it's a higher high. It broke the tops. It broke these tops. It has been confirmed. Unlike if this move let me just do this. Okay. I'll put this back here. So if this move was still inside here, right, and then this is yet to happen, and then this one is still here, right, and this haven't happened yet. So let's say that this haven't happened yet. So if this haven't happened yet, then now this we cannot come and draw a structure here like this. You understand? We cannot draw a structure like this because now this is the first high, and then we don't know if this one is going to be the second high or if price is going to go down. So we can only connect this first high. We can only connect this first high based on the fact that the second high broke this high. Okay, it broke this first high. So that is when now we can see, oh, okay, price now is broken. It means that now price is broken. There is some okay. So you cannot draw a high if you have something like this, right? You cannot have connecting anything, right? You don't have price connecting anything. So if I just do this, so let's say this is your high. Let's say this is your high end of the market, and then this is your low. Then if you want to draw your structure, that structure like this, it means that this structure here at the bottom, yes, it's valid. It's valid because now we did not break here. It's valid here at the bottom. You can connect it. And then now here at the top, when it's like this now, what we have at the top, we only have this as a top. We don't have a structure. And it's the first top. We don't have a structure until this market comes and breaks this top. That is when then now we can come and do what? And draw this. You understand? So if this price does not have this, then we just put a line like this because it can come here and decide to do what? To go down, right? It can come here and decide to go down. So you just check, or okay, before you draw your structure, make sure you are drawing your structure correctly. Don't just try to find 1, 2, 3s that do not exist. Because I've seen 1, 2, 3s. I've seen 1, 2, 3s that do not exist. Others, I don't even want to look at. Like, there's another one, even on USD JPY. On USD JPY, there's a structure that you throw. Like, I don't know where you are getting this from. Like, let me just check this one. Because you just come here and then you say the market is going to go down. Like, what makes you to say that the market is going to go down? Because you cannot just come and say the market is going to go down before it goes up. Why? Why is the market going to go down before it goes up? If you were going to enter that trade, how are you going to enter it? Because those are the things that are important. Because if you can just say the market is going to go up before it goes down, anyone can be able to say that. But the question is, can you be able to capitalize on the market doing that, going down and then going up? Because it's not just a matter of saying, no, I can see you, yeah, this market is going to do this. But can you be able, let me just do this. Okay, is it showing now? Because here I don't know what you're trying to do. I don't know where you found this from. I don't know where you found this from. I don't know what you're trying to do here. Because this is exactly what I was saying, that if you see that you can't see anything, don't try to force things. But here you were just trying to draw something that do not exist. It's because now your time frames are not speaking to each other. Your 1 hour, your 4 hour, your daily, they're not speaking to each other. That's why now when you come here, is it still showing? Okay. Resume. Is it still showing? Okay. So what you can see here is that this price
no.
it's not showing. Let me do this. Why is it happening right now? Why? It's sharing window. Stop sharing. Okay. So what you can see here is that we have this impulse. Now you're drawing. I don't know where you are finding this trend line from. Yes, because this does not make sense. Because even if you were to draw a trend line from here, at least your trend line should be something like this. If you were to draw a trend line from here, at least your trend line should be something like this. You see, it should be something like this. If you're going to be drawing a trend line here. So I don't understand where this is coming from. Where this one is coming from, because this one, it does not exist. So if you look at this, I don't know where this is coming from, honestly. I don't know, because this structure is clear as it is. This structure is just as clear as it is from here, giving us that kind of a continuation to say it can come up there or reverse from here. So you have to draw things that you are sure of. Because if I say, what is this? From here to here, it does not make sense. You cannot have a trend line like this. Why are you skipping all this? Why are you skipping all this? because that is where the trend line should be. And I've seen these things
Okay.
happen. I've seen these things happen. I don't know where you're seeing them from. I don't know where you're seeing them from, because this is not this I don't know, because you're trying to find a pattern, but this is just out of the blue. It's there, net check, because this is not a trend line. Because if you're going to be drawing a trend line, you should make sure that your trend line, the first 2 points, those are the first 2 points that matter. So you cannot go from point 1 and then go all the way to point 2. You pass all these lows, you understand? So when you're drawing a trend line, the first 2 points, those are the ones that matter.
Okay.
The previous 2 points. So if you're drawing here, this one and this one, this one and this one, it matters. You see? So we have impulse, sorry, impulse
Okay.
correction, impulse. This is a running channel. Head and shoulder formation. It went down. So if I'm going to draw on this one here, if I'm going to draw a trend line, because clearly now I can see, okay, let's say for example, if I'm a trend line trader, I can see that here, from here, this market has broken out of the trend line. So now here we are on an upward trend. So we just wait for this one here. It's an upward trend. So we just wait for this one to go up, if it's gonna go up. So I don't know where you're getting those structures, or because you're doing the same thing over and over again, trying to draw structures on the 1 hour time frame. And 1 hour time frame, we don't use it to draw structures. We are not drawing structures on 1 hour. 4 hours daily, that is where we stop with our structures. And then on the 1 hour, we're going inside, trying to find out what happened here. So now on your 1 hour, that's why I'm saying that you're confusing things, because you're drawing, your analysis does not talk to each other. So if all your analysis was talking to each other, then you should understand that on the 1 hour, you will be analyzing this on the 1 hour, not this on the 1 hour. Because this is the outside structure, and outside is found on what? On the bigger time frame. So you cannot be analyzing the outside structure on the 1 hour time frame. So it means that you have to analyze the bigger structure, the outside structure, on the what you call, on the bigger time frames. So your outside structure would be like this, and then here you have what? 1, and then this is what? This is 2, right? Then what do you see here on 2? What do you see? You have a middle section. We have a middle section right there on 2, right? I cannot connect it nicely, but it's there. Let me just do this. I cannot connect it nicely, but it's there. You can see it there. So this is my 1, this is my 2. Obviously, the 3 that we're expecting before the move can decide to go down. So don't draw things that do not exist. Don't draw things that do not exist. Just like this. So on your time frame, if your daily is saying that, okay, if we have structure like this, and then we have the market approaching your structure. We have the market approaching your structure like this. And then you have drawn your ascending channel like that. When this market, it means when you go to the 1 hour, you'll just be checking what's happening. Is it getting there? How is it moving? How is it getting there? Is it showing signs of weakness? If it's a sell, is it showing signs of trying to change to go to a buy? If it's a buy, you understand? So those are the things that you must ask yourself, instead of just throwing structures that do not exist. Because if you say this structure, what will you be expecting from this structure when it's here? If you say, okay, you have a structure like this, take the trade. What are you going to do? What trade are you going to take? That is the question that I'll be asking myself. That if you look at this structure and say, okay, let's go take the trade, what are you going to do? Nothing. So now it means that now it's just a matter of you coming and analyzing, and then on the smaller time frame, that is when now you'll find your entries.
Okay.
So if I can just take this out.
Aí eu uso muito, sabe?
Go back to. Okay. I'll go back to, where's that one? Here, where's that tab? Where's that tab? Right. So the same thing also. It's the same thing that I saw when you sent me some things on this. Is it Jump 25 or what? You sent me some things. I saw some things that you sent, and you even took a screenshot using your phone. Like, I don't understand why. Like, when you put this arrow, when you put your arrow like that, what does it mean? When you just come here and put an arrow like this, what does it mean? That's one thing I want to understand. What does it mean when you come here and put an arrow like this? Who taught you to do this? Who said you must do this? What does this mean to you when you look at the market and you just come in? Because I see that you just say before and then you say after. What does it mean? Because I can see you have a nice structures there, but then now you cannot just come here and put an arrow like this. This does not mean anything. This does not mean anything, and it does not talk to you, because this is just an arrow. An arrow, we don't trade arrows here. You understand? This is just an arrow. So you need to understand what exactly is happening in your structure. So if you can just come here and say, okay, you put an arrow like this, and then few hours later you find that, okay, this candle has gone up half, maybe half or quarter of this arrow. You think that you've made it. You understand? And that is not what the way we trade is all about. That is not what we do. We don't do that. We don't do that because if we have a clear direction where the market is going, so you cannot just come here and put an arrow. You understand? We do our analysis, and then after doing our whole breakdown, that is then now we decide, okay, this market can go to here or to here. So if you just come and say, okay, this market is gonna go here, what is the analysis? There's no analysis. You just put one on the 60 minutes. You just sent me a chart on the 60 minutes, and then you say it's gonna go to. Let me just open it actually.
Let's go. Sasa ngempaham.
So it's the same thing. You just come here, you put a descending channel. You see, if I go to the 1 hour, again now. If I go to the 1 hour, just wait for it to load. Which one is this one? So this is the 1 hour. So you had something like this. From here, you had something like this.
Yes.
And your price was still 1, 2, drop, up. Your price was here. Your price was here. Your price was here. And then you just came here and you put an arrow.
Okay.
It's gonna go up. Like, why? What is the arrow for? Where is it going? And why should it go there? Because if you can clearly see that this channel is still going down and you still have an area that needs to be filled, why should you expect that price will just turn around from here? That's what I'm asking you. Why would you expect that price will just turn around from here? You see? So you are getting those things. I don't know where you're getting them from, but whatever you're doing, it's wrong, because Tina, that's not how we trade. Because you have to understand the whole structure. That is why now, if you're just sending me the 1 hour, I don't know what to do with the 1 hour only. And you send 1 hour and you put an arrow. I don't know what that means. You understand? So if you have a market like this, and we say you must send an analysis, then I expect that the analysis will be the daily, the 4 hour, and then the 1 hour. That is the analysis. So if you just send me an arrow on the 1 hour, there's nothing I can do about that because it does not say anything, or it's not saying anything. So if you can just check here, even on this price, I don't know why you had this as a correction, this one here, down here. I don't know why you had this as a correction, because you can see we're okay on this price, as it is going up there. It is simple. We look left. This was the first area. It pushed. This is the last area. Then it went all the way up. Now, the question remains the same. How did it get there? The question remains the same. How did price get to our area there at the top? So we can see how price was moving. We can see how price was moving from there all the way to there. Understand? You can clearly see how this price is moving. So I don't understand why you put that as a correction, because this is our main area of focus here. This is our area of focus here. This is our area of focus here.
Okay.
So this price, there it is going up there in the form of ascending. In the form of ascending. Everything is there. Everything is there. This is the impulse. This is our middle section. Like I always tell you, and then this is the third impulse. So we have the 1, the 2, the 3. What is happening to my mouse? My mouse is...
Okay.
Okay. So we have that 1, 2, 3. It's complete. You see? It's complete like that. So now what you have to understand now is that now since you have that 1, 2, 3, since you have that 1, 2, 3 there, now what you have to understand is that, okay, you have the 1, the 2, the 3. What happened here on the third time? That's one question you want to ask us. So I can remove this as the high, and then now I have this price here as my previous high, right? So now I have this impulse, I have this correction, I have this impulse, and then now price impulse down, and then corrected impulse. So now I have this impulse, and this could be this could just be a big correction also. This could just be a big correction. It's possible that this could just be a big correction to go to the downside, or this could just come and give me, because now for me this is a what you call, this is a double top. So
Okay.
so if this is a double top, this price could come and give me a head and shoulder and go. You understand? As simple as that. You know. So now when I go to my 4 hour, now I'm going to play here where I've drawn this. I don't care about this because I already know what happened here, right? So now I want to understand here. I know that we are on the 1, 2, 3. We are
Hello?
on the third touch. So it means now that I understand that we're on the third touch, I'll just be waiting for price to give me some sort of a correction. This thing. So what I'm saying is that it's not a matter of just going to one time frame. If you just go to the daily, if you just go to the 1 hour and you draw things on the 1 hour, there's nothing that will happen. You will not get it right. You will get it right for 2 seconds and you will be happy and you say, no, I made it, but it is actually wrong. Just like the one that you sent me on Jump 25, just like how I'm showing you. It's actually wrong. And just because the move or the candles, let me not say the move, because it's like we are trading the candles. So we are not trading the candles, we are trading the whole move. So we expect the whole move to play out, not just one candle. So if you just point one candle up, I
Okay.
don't know what that means. And I don't know where you are getting that from. So whoever you are getting it from, please stop getting that information, because we don't do that here. We don't do that. We don't do that. We trade from the higher time frame all the way to the smaller time frame, and then we take it from there. We don't just open one time frame and we draw a
Okay.
structure and then we take a sell. Because even here, if you can see, this thing is still loading. It's the same thing. Impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse correction, big correction. Now we're expecting another one. So it's the same thing over and over again. Over and over again. So there's nothing new here. There's nothing new. So just go and practice. Just go and practice.
Correction.
Yeah, just go and practice on the weekly, the daily, the 4 hour, and the 1 hour, doing the same thing. How did price get there? You find your area of value, and then you find out how did price get there. Remember the 1, 2, 3 impulse correction, impulse. It's not just a matter of. It's not just a matter of saying it's a 1, 2, 3. So you go there, you ask yourself, how did price get there? And then 1, 2, 3. After getting there, you'll find nice structures. I'm telling you, if you are doing it correctly, you will find nice structures. You'll find nice structures on the daily. That is if you find the zone correctly. So stop drawing 1 million zones because you don't have. I can see you are drawing a lot of zones, a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if you are drawing 7 zones, what are you going to trade? How? When? You understand? Because if you have so many zones now, it's just like you just want to come and zone out every area. But you will learn that with time. So you don't just zone out every area. What matters is the top and the bottom, and what happens after. So if you have your top and your bottom on your bigger time frame, whatever happens will be happening on the smaller time frame. Or what? So if this one, let me just try. Let's do this. So you can see